Yo, it's your boy Ado. Winter refresh upgrades are here. Prime icon moments are here. We've got new content from EA. Let's go ahead and review some of them. We've got our loading screen here. Ibra, Ericsson, Bruno Fernandes leading the winter refresh upgrades along with the prime icon moments. So I'm going to be doing a quick review, letting you know who I think is good value for money in terms of the winter refresh upgrades. So let's get started. Right, so we've got the list of winter refresh players here. They look really great. We've got Ericsson, Ibrahimovic and Bruno Fernandes sort of leading the line in their new kits, their new teams. Behind them we've got Areola, who looks like a very good potential Courtois replacement if you're someone that's looking to get rid of him and get someone a bit better. Also, some other noticeable players are going to be Patrick Van Aanholt and Nathan Ake because they're in the Premier League. Bernat is also a great sort of upgrade because obviously he's a strong link to Neymar, which is a very popular meta player on the game. So if we sort of look at the players that are available now, we can see their skill moves and their weak foot and assess them a bit more better. We've got Nathan Ake here. He's sort of going for around 250k at the moment. I personally think that's a bit overpriced. If we look at his sort of stats, it's not the greatest card on the game at this sort of stage. There's a lot of sort of better defenders like Luis Felipe for a lot cheaper, the Future Stars player. But obviously he's going for a lot because he's just been released. He's Dutch, which is a strong link to Van Aanholt, Van Dijk, those sort of players, De Jong, and also he's a Premier League player. But with a shadow or an anchor, it's still a pretty good card nonetheless. And another sort of other player that I was just touching on is Patrick Van Aanholt. We'll go ahead and look at him. He's also had a pretty decent buff. He's going for 160k, which is pretty reasonable even at this sort of stage where he's just sort of being released into packs. But obviously everyone is opening packs now. He's probably getting packed quite a bit. He's not that strong, so you're probably going to want to have an anchor on him, and he's pretty quick anyway, so an anchor would do just fine. It gives him a pretty good stats buff, nearly max pace, 71 strength, and pretty good aggression, and defensive stats are pretty good as well. So it's not a sort of bad card if you're sort of considering getting a new left back in the Premier League. Let's also have a look at Juan Bernat. He's going for a measly 100k, roughly around that, and that also looks like a pretty good card. He's got ridiculous stamina, 96. Like I said, the main perks is going to be his links to the likes of Neymar, and also he's Spanish. There's a couple other players that can link with him. You've got Sergio Ramos, to name a few. He's got very good dribbling and agility and balance, and these sort of three combine very good to make him feel faster than his actual sprint speed and acceleration, because it's a sort of combination of stats. Very aggressive as well, so you don't necessarily have to worry so much about the strength. I mean, there ain't many left backs on this game that are that strong anyway, and I think if you're fast enough you can get away with it. So he's actually not a bad addition. He's had a pretty good buff, if I'm honest with you. And the main sort of four players that are leading the pack, so to speak, is going to be Alfonso Areola. He's going for around 100k at the moment. He's got an unbelievable buff. He's 6'5". People actually use him already. I have used him before getting Courtois, and a lot of people rate him more than Courtois. So with this sort of buff, you got to bear in mind if he's got 89 diving, then with a basic chem card, which is what you should use on him, he's getting max diving, those sort of stats. So that's a very good card if you fix your team. If you've got Rafael Varane, maybe Clement Lenglet, those sort of players, and it's a good link. So let's have a look at the sort of top three players that are on the list. We've got Bruno Fernandes here. He looks really good, I have to admit. I'm looking into possibly getting him. I'll probably run him on a hunter if I did get him. He pretty much gets max pace. He's got more than enough curve so you can finesse it from wherever you want. The only sort of downside I would say is finishing, but if you're going to play him as a cam, 87 finishing in my opinion is more than enough. The main downside, if I'm honest with you, is going to be his agility. But with 90 dribbling, I'm not that sure whether it's going to be an issue or not. Does it balance it out or not enough? I don't really know. The alternative chemistry card that will sort of help it would be the engine. That he's still pretty fast enough with the engine, and obviously it buffs his agility and dribbling, which helps that issue out. But then you're losing out on the sort of shooting aspects of it. Obviously if you're not concerned about his pace, you feel like that's enough for you, but I feel like a lot of defenders are so fast in this game, he needs one of those chemistry cards, and obviously you can opt for something else. So That's Bruno Fernandes. Let's have a quick look at Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And I really like this guy. He's got an unbelievable card now. His main thing for me is his 5-star steal moves, which is absolutely vital when you're in certain situations. You can do things like scoop turns when you're running as opposed to standing still, and it just helps out a lot. Not so concerned about 4-star weak foot. I feel like 4 to 5-star is more than enough. Players like Pele have 4-star, and if their shooting stats are good enough, you don't really notice it that much. Right, so his downside that you can see is obviously his stamina. That's his sort of main downfall, and his agility and balance. If I was to use him, I'd 100% run him on an engine. It gives him 94, 91 pace, which I think is enough. 84 agility, which ain't that great, but with 94 dribbling, you'd think that it's really good. His main positives are his composure, 99, so it means when he's sort of one-on-one in goal-scoring opportunities, he's not going to be, his shots are still going to be as good as you want it to be. You're not going to be affected by defenders near him. But then obviously, are you happy enough with 88 finishing? That's something you need to sort of consider as well. I personally think 88 is pretty good. I don't know if going from 94, 88 you'd actually notice that much. He's got 83 curve as well, so it's kind of within the sort of finessing range. I've seen some players that got around 79 and they score pretty remarkable finesse shots. And his main plus is going to be the 99 strength and the 96 acceleration, aggression. Combining with that, it just makes him an absolute animal. I'm really not looking forward to playing against this guy. I know a lot of teams are going to be going for him. I believe he's currently going for, I think I saw his price earlier, his max price is set as 1.2 million, so it's not a bad card. I'm considering getting Joao Felix's Future Stars card, and that's 1.8 million, and that's also a 5-star, 4-star, so this isn't that far behind that in my opinion. And last but not least, the ex-Tottenham man, so to speak, Christian Eriksen. He's got a really good buff as well, going from a 89 to a 91. It looks like a very good card. He's going to need something like a Hunter because he hasn't got enough pace. A bit similar to Philip Coutinho, if I'm honest with you. Sort of good shooting stats, good curve, good long shots. Is very similar really to Coutinho. The main difference being he's got a lot more finishing, I believe. And I think Coutinho might be 1 or 2 pace different. But this is an extremely good card if you can fit him in your team and you're looking to get him. He's going for 370k, which I don't think is that bad for the sort of stats you're getting out of him. It's just whether the sprint speed, you're okay with 85 sprint speed, but if you can fit him in your team and you'd like to get him, I'd definitely say go for it. And like I said, he's got 4-star, 5-star, which makes him even more usable. And also his work rate is okay. I mean, high defensive isn't ideal for a sort of cam, but you can get by with it. It's not as bad as some other sort of work rates on the game. Right, so they're the sort of winter refresh players. That's a sort of short review from me on the sort of ones that I think are worth getting or worth having a look at if you can. Thank you very much for watching my video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you got any feedbacks or anything like that. Until next time, safe!